turn this down.
Vicky, I'm back. I'm not playing around no more. It's the hot boy. Yeah, it's the hot boy. My rollie on. Yeah, looking like the top boy. This the thing, and I get the drop boy. Boy, 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 boy. It's the hot boy. My rollie on. Yeah, looking like the top boy. This the thing, and I get the drop boy. Boy, 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 boy. Shiny, new watch, blinding. We getting money, dog. Them man lying. Fuck all that crying. Get multiplying. 5 back last week and I weren't even trying. Let's talk life. Them man can't talk to I. Say they're making dope. Someone's telling porcupines. These little bricks. Fucking porcupines. Wanna rob my rollie. Come on them. It's worth a try. Vicky, I'm
Yo,
all
salute.
cakey in my bimmer. Looking
Salute,
like
fam,
a
so
winner.
fam.
Get dressed, we're going dinner. Them man are broke, they ain't in and what I'm in. So it's to the trap house. I gotta feed my cat some dinner. You ain't doing shit.
Hopefully this will just be an hour, man. It won't be like
And that's a fake watch on a fake
one of
top.
them long marathon things. I know
On
it's
the
a little
road
late.
selling fake drugs. We're too real. That's why they can't take us. Yeah, it's the hot boy. My rollie on. Yeah, looking like the top boy. This the thing, and I get the job.
This is based off one documentary that was sent into my Telegram group earlier. Gave me a load of pointers. I already had this built, but I added in some things to it. Now that I'm back at my little holiday with Bro at the Horse Academy. It's not over yet. I'm still on holiday, yeah? But I ain't forgot about you guys. So yeah, give me 2 minutes. I'll jump in. We'll just read it off. Give you guys another one to digest, man. Keep the fire burning while the fire's hot. I know I've been away for a minute, but sometimes a break is good. Just like Mr. J Bars was saying earlier. Okay, that's enough for Mr. Fecky. Greetings to the two of you who's joined into this live, yeah? I just wanted to blast through this page real quick. I've chose to call it the Phantom War. I always use a title to try and base my discussion around, if you've kind of clocked. So what I mean about Phantom War is that there's so much stuff going on that we can't really put a finger on what's going on. Some of it we can, some of it we can't. Some of it is just a whole bunch of suspicion, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not blatantly happening out there in your face, but when you be reading these events and reading between the lines and reading behind the scenes, it's going back to that term that I like to use called Phantom War, where it's like the majority of people don't even know what's going on no more, yeah? So let's just stick to the notes and go through this. Greetings to the two of you and anyone else who may tune in. He, she, the deities who nothing exists except by way of he, she, the mother, father, creator, spirit, Neteru. Yeah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah annu al-yoinal. I bear witness that nothing would exist if it wasn't by the will of the creator, Anu el-yoinal, the most high. Okay? So yeah, the Phantom War. When I say Phantom War, I'm speaking about an invisible enemy that more time you can't see this enemy. You can't see all of the things that are working against you and that are put out there to be a booby trap for you or to hinder you with the physical eyes. So this enemy is invisible. We may have an idea of what this enemy is or who this enemy is based on our research and backgrounds and certain other things. But in essence, we can't really 100% say to somebody else, this is exactly what's going on out there. None of us can say that. Hotep to Melinda Morgan, Hotep family, none of us can really say that. So we're in a very unsure Armageddon. And so I term it the Phantom War, because the enemy is invisible, like some bird box thing. But in my overstanding and understanding of what's going on, I know you've all heard before the term spiritual wickedness in high places. Yeah, so when I say phantom war, I'm talking about a certain level of spiritual wickedness above and beyond this realm that has a certain amount of control over the NPCs of this realm. So the unconscious people or the unconscious beings in this realm will be controlled by a spiritual wickedness in a higher realm, which is why it's invisible, because it's not like physical beings on our level that are controlling this thing. And anybody who thinks, as I keep saying, that this is just a human thing going on Earth, and 1% of humans are controlling the next 99% of humans, then something must be wrong with that 99% of humans if they can allow 1% to control them. So we're not going for that. We're not going down that shit there like it's just some race thing, white people conquered black people and rah rah. And it's not that. It's spiritual wickedness in higher places. Yeah, and even though they're only in the fourth dimension, the lower part of the fourth dimension, that's still higher than where we are at the moment and where we're vibrating right now. So it's a spiritual wickedness in higher realms that is controlling the non-player characters of this realm. You understand? The unconscious, the soulless beings of this realm. Okay? And you've heard the Queen has used that term before, spiritual wickedness, when she was talking to the butler. If you go back to Diana's story, when the butler threatened to put out Diana's journal, and Diana's journal had a bunch of shit in there that the Queen and them didn't want out. Do you understand? She told the butler, listen, you're dealing with spiritual wickedness in higher places that you know nothing about. She threatened him with that term. Do you understand? And if you go back to the story of Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia, he used that term when he says, yo, we're not dealing with just like physical beings and stuff. You know, when them Italians, Mussolini and them was going over there and trying to mustard bomb Ethiopia and stuff. All of these things are stuff that we're supposed to know. Do you understand what I'm saying? He used that same term about spiritual wickedness, okay, in higher places. At the same time, remember what we said, we're not onto this doomsday prophecy business. So everything that you see happening right now has two sides to it, heads and tails, just like we was talking about with the two sides of the agenda when in terms of the Anunnaki. Yeah, the same goes down here. Like when I say spiritual wickedness, yeah, there's also a spiritual upliftment going on parallel to this spiritual wickedness. So it's about where are you giving your attention to? Are you going to focus on the spiritual wickedness in this phantom war? Or are you going to focus on the spiritual awakening in this phantom war? It's your choice. Both choices require the same amount of energy, require the same amount of attention from you. You understand? Whether you want to choose to focus on the doomsday shit and the spiritual wickedness, or whether you want to focus to choose on the awakening and the expansion of consciousness and the unlearning of all the false doctrines and false agendas that we've been given. These two things are going on in the same time. Do you understand? And when we're talking about the spiritual awakening, that's the new wave of vibration that's been coming in since the 70s with civil rights and black power and all of that stuff. But it's gradually taking its time to come in to where we are now, where more people are in, it's like they're in a new vibration of consciousness. Yeah, and that fits in with the age of Aquarius when we're talking about abundance and the age of Aquarius, which our ancestors call the age of Happy. And notice Happy was one of the sons of Horus, not Horus, the son of Isis. There was two Horuses. There's Horus the Elder, who was is not Isis's son and Osiris's son. You understand? Horus the Elder, who is the son of Ra, and then also you have the other Horus, who we know, the common Horus. Yeah, but a lot of us think when we talk about the sons of Horus, the four sons of Horus, we're talking about Isis's son, but we're not. We're talking about that Horus the Elder is his sons when you talk about Horus's sons, not Isis's Horus. Do you understand? And notice how one of Horus's sons, who the age is called after, Happy, is called, even though it means something else in Kemetian, in our etymology of the language today, Happy Yeah. So the age of Aquarius is supposed to be an age of happiness for us, awakened ones, for us chosen ones, because we know what this is leading to, what it's boiling down to, no matter how dark it looks right now or how gloomy it seems right now with the birth pains. We know where this is leading to and where it's going to, and how this ends according to what is written. Do you understand? So we should be choosing to look at the spiritual upliftment, if not more, the same way we're looking at this spiritual wickedness. We're supposed to be happy according to the etymology of the word. And the age of Aquarius fits in with all that discussion that you've heard Western civilizations having about the removal of the veil, because that's kind of like a Western way of saying it. We'll say, okay, the age of awakening, the awakening, ascension, yeah. They will say, okay, the removal of the veil. It's a simpler term, but it means the same thing. It means that everything right now is out there in the open. And most of these things that were out there in the open, they've been studying this shit behind the scenes for a long time before these topics came out into the open. Like organizations, scientific organizations like CERN are not new. They're not new just because it's the first time we've heard about them. These organizations are going back 60, 70 years. They've been fiddling around with stuff and messing around with stuff. So this phantom war now is based on a desperation because they can't stop the awakening. This shit's going on too fast. So if you ask me, that 5G shit, that molecular warfare, the smart trap, yeah, when we say it's a consciousness prison, from where I've been since I gave you that term about smart trap and consciousness prison and stuff, I really feel like it's designed to slow down the vibration in people. So it's making people more dense. It's like the people that you see addicted to social media and phones, and they're real dense people. They're real material people who have got materialistic thoughts and what do you call it? Addictive personality. That's what I'm looking for, and stuff like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? It makes their molecules, the frequency that it's putting out slows down the vibration of their molecules. So throughout society, when you see these towers being put up, these smart towers or these 5 towers, let's just say 5, yeah, to avoid censoring, these 5 towers, yeah, or 4G towers, yeah, that's like stopping you from speeding up the vibration of your molecules, yeah, by hooking you onto certain different low frequency devices. And all of our devices use ELW, or low frequency electricity, which encourages demonic entities and low vibrational entities to harbor around that type of vibration. That's why the ancestors never used electricity like that. They would rather use solar energy or water energy or a sound energy, something that doesn't have a pollution behind it or doesn't invite certain entities to come and harbor around that low vibration. You understand? So now they're putting out all these, now they're activating, not putting out, they started putting these shits out when this thing first started in 2020. They was locking us up and going out there putting up these towers, okay? But what they found, even though it kind of like, because they can't stop the awakening, but they can hinder it. They can delay it. Let's use that term there, yeah? But when they use this technology to delay the awakening, it actually makes it worse. It puts them in a worse situation. So what you see going on in Canada right now and Australia and stuff is a result of them trying to hinder or trying to like throw a spanner in the works of the awakening, which makes more problems for them. Because remember, they've already had a look through this looking glass to see what the end is and to see that they can't manipulate nothing past 2012. Okay? So look around. When you look around the world today, yeah, I watched a story on Hugo Talks today because I've been away from the social media thing. But I watched a few of my trusted channels today, and I was watching Hugo Talks, a very good channel if anyone wants an alternative source of news. Hugo, and he was talking about, I don't know how much of you watching know the Scottish Prime Minister. I call it a bloke. They say it's a woman, but when I look at that Nicola Sturgeon, yeah, that Scottish Prime Minister, I'm like, yo, that's a bloke, yeah? With all this fluid shit going on and everything, I don't care what no one says. To me, that's a bloke. So that bloke, yeah, Nicola Sturgeon, is talking today, talking about they're going to go around schools and chop off the bottom half of the door. The bottom half of the door. You know the bottom bit? Like, let's say the bottom quarter. The Scottish Prime Minister is now, this is what they're doing in Scotland. They're chopping off the bottom part of the door in classrooms. Why? Oh, to help against the fight against COVID, because it's going to increase ventilation for the children. This is what I mean about institutionalized insanity. The whole world is gone mad because the whole world, 80% of the world, 85% is listening to these insane avatar leaders or politicians. Yeah. So because we're so accustomed to conforming, 2 years into this thing now, just look around at how people are acting and you'll see, bastard, the world's gone mad for real, you know. Like, institutionally mad. Like, most of society, for being in this shit for 2 years and being told all this stupid nonsense that they're calling science and all this daft shit and fear and anxiety, yo, the collective mind of society is popped. And I'm telling you now, 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10 people in society have lost it. I'm not just talking about people outside on your level. I'm talking about politicians, royal families, sports stars, movie stars, musicians, scientists, doctors, fucking any profession. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 people are now institutionally insane, and it means it's collective. So they feel like, okay, this person feels like that, so I have to think like that. So you've got a collective of insane people pushing these insane mandates and whatever else. The world has gone institutionally insane. And anything mainstream is a part of that institutionalized insanity. I don't care if it's just like music and you're watching rap, rap's gone crazy. I don't care if it's Hollywood, Hollywood's gone crazy. Politicians are gone crazy. Everywhere, most of the shit that matters is gone completely insane in the mainstream. Because the truth is now, like I've said before, something that's very obscure. When I say obscure, like most things you tell people, they'll take it as an opinion, even if it's a fact. In this obscure world, where this world is a lie, the truth, there's no facts. So even if you give people facts, they'll argue you down against your facts because they don't get them facts. You understand? And they don't even understand the difference between facts versus opinions. Most people would just rash out a whole bunch of emotional opinions, yeah, and don't give you no facts, especially religious people, yeah. They don't realize truth is truth, even if it goes against their religious opinions, yeah. And so because the truth is so obscure and because the truth is worse than the lie, the truth scares people, man. Most people that call you a conspiracy theorist and want to look at you like you're way out there is because they're too scared to accept what that truth holds, what you're telling them. The truth, what you're telling them, is about to lick down their whole Christianity or their whole Islam or their whole Hebrew Israelite crap or their whole globe earth or whatever it is. The fear of that bastard. Imagine if I was wrong and now I'm going to have to figure out what the fuck's right. People don't want to do that. Do you know how much work's involved in just thinking for yourself? You understand? And now that the mainstream media is having this tug of war, they want your mind. They want to control your mind. So there's a tug of war right now to demonize any dissent. So this could be seen as dissent. Like what I'm speaking to you now could be classed as dissent because they're going to say, okay, it goes against the narrative. So I'll give you an example like Joe Rogan. They'll use him as the poster boy for dissenters right now because he's got the most reach. He's got the biggest platform and the most reach to speak out against these bastards. So now they're targeting him rather than they say, okay, you know what? People would rather listen to man like Joe Rogan than the mainstream fucking news. We got to fix the news. This shit's got to stop. We got to get back the credibility of the people. No, they don't want none of that shit. They're like, yo, shut him down, cancel him, lock him off. They don't care about making the news something that people can trust or whatever, because it was never intended to be that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now they're demonizing dissenters. I had another, my accounts are already all shadow banned. And they're supposed to be shadow banned for 90 days. All of them said 90 days, which is 3 months. Yeah. The last notification I got was about a month ago on TZT page. Yeah, they gave me one the day before. I said, yo, so this is the next 90-day sanctions now. What's the, they're not even saying what that's for, but it's all about demonizing dissent and the people that, if the right people hear this message and take this message further, and they've got a platform to spread this message, they're not even going to wait for that eventuality. They must shut down pages like this that speak about certain things. Even for me to bring you this live here, I've had to practice how to speak so that I don't say certain words. And more, it's easier for me to do now. Last year was a madness. Last year I was saying the wrong shit and getting my videos locked off, man. So yeah, they're trying to demonize dissenters right now, man, because if you check those who they call dissenters or the light workers, the ones who were speaking out, the awakened one, the chosen ones, yeah, they are the, what should I call them? I don't want to use the word teachers, but they're teaching the rest of us through their own personal example about transmigration of the soul. Because you're going to witness, especially if you stick with some of these awakeners, you'll see the kind of expansion of them in their self. So when you first started watching them, you can see their growth and the how much they've grown from that first live you started watching them till now, especially if it was like more than 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, and now you're watching them now. You can see that subtle transmigration of the soul, which is beautiful with the expansion of consciousness. So they're driving that in other humans because other humans are seeing it in them, because actions speak louder than words. So seeing them go through the metamorphosis, people like Ralph Smart. I remember when Ralph Smart started and he didn't have that big following, and the bunch of stuff he used to say of how hard it was for him and his family fighting him down and whatever. But we've seen the metamorphosis of people like that and them step into their power. Yeah, and the effect that has on other human beings as an inspiration for you, as a motivation for you to hit your own goals and to chase your own ambitions, especially when you're coming with a message that is classed as dissent. Do you understand what I'm saying? They want to demonize those types of people because they understand the power that's involved with those types of people. It's not about mainstream media and news and stuff like that no more. It's about real folk, man. Yeah, and I just wanted to take the time out to say, those who endured, when I say those who endured, I'm talking about all of us who was doing this, what we're doing now, way before any social media, way before any internet, before any Twitter hype or trending or any of that shit, when it was unpopular to speak about conspiracy theories and aliens and reptilians and false history or false religion. It was unpopular. You became one of the most hated bastards in your community if you was talking about these things like 10 years ago and 15 years ago and shit. I was one of them people, and I know how hard it is to walk on that path and to be under the scrutiny of other people and the ridicule of other people and all of that type of stuff. So I want to take a moment to shout y'all out, yeah, because you guys, you're on the cusp of a great harvest. You understand? You're on the doorstep of reaping all the rewards that come for you with you enduring all of that shit there. Yeah, that was your rites of passage. That's like when you reach when you die and then and then you're supposed to be judged for your life on earth, you might find you've already been judged just from all the trauma and all the shit that you had to go through and you had to endure. Some of us have already been judged. There ain't no judgment day for us. This fucking life here, being around these fucking Muzungu and certain level of consciousness, that's fucking hell for you. This is your judgment right here. Do you understand? All of us are not the same. Okay, so yeah, shout out to all the people that show through example the transmigration of the soul and the beautiful metamorphoses that humans go through with the expansion of consciousness. Okay, and shout out to all those who was already on this wave long before it became some kind of social media thing or internet thing. Yeah, and also, just like I said, there's two sides with the spiritual wickedness and the spiritual awakening. There's also two sides to the great harvest. The great harvest can mean we're about to reap. It means everybody's about to reap what they sow. Yeah. So the good people, they're about to reap the rewards, yeah, of all of the righteousness and all of the information war, all of the stuff that involves them trying to awaken people through this information war and shadow banning and censorship and ridicule and blacklisting, all the shit you had to go through, my name calling, all of that, you're about to reap rewards for that. You understand? Because everything, it's like we said, causation, action, reaction, cause, effect. Everything has a fucking effect. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then for those who didn't take the time to give the divine none of their attention or none of their time, didn't do no meditations, don't want to live righteous, don't want to go into the spiritual side of reality and just want to stick into this physically dense, materialistic, false, illusory life, you about to reap your rewards, yeah? And just like it says in the Bible, the gift of the gods is eternal life. The wages of sin is death, man. A lot of people about to get their wages paid for all the sinning, for all the skullduggery, the backbiting, the slander, the lying, the envy, the jealousy, all of them 7 deadly sin kind of shit. You're about to reap the rewards for that shit there too. Okay? So my light workers, make sure you spend a lot of time talking to your DNA throughout this phantom war. Talk to your DNA. And that could be in the form of, like I told you on previous lives, looking in the mirror and saying you're not the nose, you're not the mouth, you're not the eyes, and doing that process of negation till you get to the real you, and then give yourself some compliments like, I love that you're still here and you've never let me down and I'll always have you. Talk to yourself, man. Just like you would gas up one of your friends, somebody close to you. Yeah, just like you'll gas up your best friend or you understand what I'm saying, your co-worker or whoever. Treat yourself like your best friend and talk to yourself, and do that also in your self-talk, subconsciously. Like, take account of what you're telling yourself in your mind. Yeah, like, be aware of it. Catch yourself when you're talking to yourself negatively, or when you're saying something in a negative light, or casting doubt on yourself and shit like that. Like, catch yourself doing it. Talk to your DNA. You understand? Look at yourself in the mirror. Learn to love yourself and talk to yourself in the mirror. All of this is the armor of God that you're going to need more and more in this phantom war. Learn to talk to your ancestors also. Ask them what their name is. What is your personal name? Did you have a nickname? Do you understand? Get close, get intimate with you, the real you, which involves all the parts of you, which means your ancestors also. And do not miss this wave. You understand? Because a lot of people will wait until the boat's gone to try and get into this shit, and the boat will be already set sail. It's gone. Ain't no, you can't jump on the boat no more. So do the work now. There's always more to do. You understand? Because in this phantom war, what they want to keep you busy. They want to keep your mind busy. Yeah. So with this Matthew 24:24, when it's talking about wars and rumors of war and all of that stuff there, they're using these wars and rumors of wars to keep us in that perpetual fear, because there's a domino effect that happens once you stay in that vibration of fear. You understand? And there's a domino effect of war, because we know once we go to war, first you're going to have death, then you're going to have injuries. You understand what I'm saying? Then you're going to have infrastructure mashed up. So schools are mashed up, hospitals are mashed up, roads are mashed up, supply chains mashed up. There's a whole bunch of shit that comes out of war. Do you understand? So if they can keep us focused on war, the anxiety that comes from us thinking about war and the domino effect that's going to come out of this war, that fear keeps us in control. It dictates our decisions, what we're going to buy, what we're not going to buy, where we're going to go, where we're not going to go, who we're going to be with, who we're not going to be with. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the mainstream media, why they want to take out dissenters and people speaking out is because they want to keep us focused on war. And they don't want nobody to be able to see through this smoke screen, which they've used time and time again. It's nothing new. You understand? Let me light this spliff, please, people. Are you with me, though? Yeah, am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. You know, usually when I'm doing a live, I'm more into the theme. But sometimes I just make them up just so I can speak to you. Yeah? And this is one of them occasions where I'm just making it up to speak to you guys, yeah? I wanted to speak about also, you know, in the War in the Skies where we spoke about the 2 wars with the reptilians, and there was a war before that with the insectoids and that. Focusing on the reptilian wars, And when it speaks about in Revelation 12, chapter 12, verses 7 to 9, it speaks about, and there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the serpent or the dragon and his angels, and the old serpent was cast out of heaven. I want to make a point here. And this goes back to us speaking about the invisible enemy and spiritual wickedness coming from the lower fourth dimension. You know where I'm going to go with this. But anyway, the Bible says that there was a war in the skies, in the heavens. Ask a Christian, because Christians don't want to speak about this. Yeah. Why was there war in heaven? Is there going to be war in heaven again, in your Christian heaven, where people sit on clouds and shit? Why is there war there? Because you've given us the picture of this heaven is some perfect place. So why are angels fighting? Point two I want to make. The Bible calls Michael's people, Michael and his angels. And then it calls the serpent his angels. The serpent's also got angels. So the serpent is classed as an angel, just like Michael is classed as an angel. So you've got humanoid angels and you've got reptilian angels, serpents, dragons. Do you understand what I'm saying? So right there in the Bible, that's the reason why Christians don't want to speak about it, because you're going to have to go into all of that shit. Yeah, but the Bible clearly tells you that there was a war in the heavens. We already know the heavens only means cosmos in the different constellations, whether it's the Pleiades or the Draco or Orion or Illuine or Arcturus or Andromeda or Procyon. Different Sirius, different constellations in the cosmos were experiencing this great war. It was going on throughout different parts of the cosmos, yeah? But both sides were being referred to as angels or serpents, yeah? And I wanted to, the reason, I say this to say this. The reason I'm saying this, yeah, I know I go off to bring you lot back to certain paths. Don't lose sight of the fact that not all of us, but a lot of us here on earth now come from them wars with the reptilians. A lot of us chose to indulge in what these reptilians were saying when we were on high, when we were in our high vibration. We chose to heed these fucking reptilians and shit, man. We started paying attention. We started listening to these reptilians to the point where we fell from the heights with them. So it wasn't just them. We fell from the heights with them. And I say that to say, in your life on earth, you're going to come across angels of Michael and angels of the devil. And all of them look like humans. To us, we call ourselves humans. But it's much more than that with this phantom war. There's beings that are on the earth now that came down here from the time when Michael was fighting with the fucking draconians, yeah? And some beings that came down here are disagreeable beings. And some beings that came down here is agreeable beings. And I don't know why. It's like I'm joined at the hip with Genesis 6, verses 1 to 7. Because I always keep going back there. But it goes back there. You understand? Where it says, and in those days there were giants on the earth, and the sons of God came down unto the daughters of men, and they went into them, or had sex with them. And they bore them children, mighty men, men of renown, children. You understand? So what I'm saying to you is, through that saga there, a lot of us, yeah, manifested on this plane, yeah, either in that camp or in that camp. And today you'll be able to identify which camp you on. I would feel the 6 of you that watching is in Michael's camp. That's why you're watching this shit. But what I want to say to you is, there's people that you'll meet in your life that you call friends, family, strangers, work colleagues, spouses, children, parents, that will be on the other camp. And their whole shit is to stop you from being who you're supposed to be, or from executing the function that you were supposed to execute while you're here, incarnated here. You understand? So when it's talking about the wars in the skies, and I was telling you about, that's something that was speaking about the past. That's why I was talking about the old serpent. That means there's a new serpent. So in the time that John was saying this in the book of Revelation, which is 96 AD, around 96 AD, that was revealed to him. Yeah, he wasn't talking about Satan today, the Satan that we know today. He was talking about a previous Satan in a far ancient time when there was a war in the skies. You understand? And beings came from up there and populated down here. So you got two sides, the good and the bad, constantly going at each other. Do you understand? So you're going to meet people in your life when you go through your life standard, yeah, that come from the other camp. These are agents of the devil. These are angels of the devil. They can be Christians, they can be Muslims, they could be black people, they could be white people, they could be pretty girls, they could be a work boss, they could be a stranger. You understand what I'm saying? The devil has his own serpents, has his own angels. You understand? And even though they're serpent consciousness, they look like any normal human. All of us. You understand? Because it's like this, I was saying to people. The real you is like, you know when you see an orb and you just see the orb and you're like, yo, look at that orb. That's how you look. Like one of them little fucking orbs. All this skin, veins, blood vessel, brain, heart, lungs, toes, all this anatomy shit, that's not you. That's your vehicle. That orb, that spark, that is you, that consciousness is driving this vehicle that you're calling Djedefre. If I take this consciousness out of Djedefre, Djedefre is just a dead body, a corpse. His eyes can even be open. He can't see. His ears are still there. He can't hear. His nose is still there. He can't smell. The part of you that is really you is the unseen part of you. That if you was able to see it, it would just look like an orb of light. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, today, people are revealing their true selves. I don't know how many of you are experiencing what I'm experiencing, but it seems like I'm seeing certain people for the first time. So even me, certain time I'm like, yo, so this is the real you. Like all this shit I've known about you for 4 years, you've hid that shit. You was wearing one of them fucking Rona masks, spiritual Rona masks, because I couldn't fucking see you until now, 2022. Something happened at the end of 2021 and the end of 2022. One sister said today on a video that was posted in my group, and I agree 100% with her. Like, as she said it, I was like, that is what I was looking for. Something happened right at the end of 2021. We weren't paying much attention to it, but the sister said something, she didn't say shift, because she said shift is sudden. She said changed. So this gradual change is culminated in, at the end of 2021, it's a lot of people switched up. You understand? I don't know how to explain it to you any more than that. But it's like what I'm saying about this war in heaven, and you've got two sides of the camp. Yeah? And now the real person is not able to hide anymore in this removal of the veil, in this age of Aquarius. When you start looking with your eye of Ra, or your inner eye, you start seeing people for who they really are. And sometimes it's not, you're not even looking. It's like you're trying to say, okay, let me see if I can see who this person really is. It's not like that. But that people just start doing things and they expose themselves where you're like, hold on. This is like, hold on. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so watch out for that shit, because people are revealing their real selves. What I want to say to you, let them go. If these people are causing you a hindrance, or they want to separate from you, or whatever, let them go, man. Do you understand? Take yourself away from that kind of people, yeah? Let them go and do what they would rather do, or be who they'd rather be. Do you understand? Yeah. Let me like this. Because this Phantom War is serious, man. And the Phantom War is just a small part of the information war. Or sorry, the other way around. The information war is just a small, I shouldn't say small, is a part of the Phantom War. I should say it's a big part of the Phantom War, because most of their shit is centered on information and the control of information. But when I say information war, it's the same as the Phantom War. But information war is just dealing with information. The Phantom War is a whole of this fucking Armageddon war, including the information aspect. You understand? Just so I don't confuse you, because I know I use a lot of terms and stuff. Yeah, so you can see that also, people revealing their true self, also with your like frontline people like politicians, royal families, celebrities. Look how much shit's come out on celebrities, from the R. Kellys to now the hints at Jay-Z that he's been doing the same shit that R. Kelly's been doing with since he was with Foxy Brown. She was like 16. Like these celebrities are coming out the fucking closet. They're being revealed. royal families like the British royal family and the Saudi Arabian royal family and stuff. Politicians, you understand, are being exposed for who they really are, like the Trudeau and them. These are not human beings, man. These are people from that other camp that I'm telling you about. They only look human. Yeah, and what you'll notice as well, if you're paying attention, you'll hear more stories about how these leaders are disappearing. Like this Trudeau guy, they snatched him up and said, listen, we need to, like, you know what they do with the president? What do they call it with the president? Air Force One or whatever. If anyone threatens the president, they're running in there, gripping him, taking him on the ground on some fucking G.I. Joe shit, hiding him in a fucking dark cupboard down there. You understand? That's their protocol, how they protect their fucking top. You understand? But all of the major leaders are having to operate like that right now. It's like they're under some kind of self-imposed fucking quarantine. Like there's some type of threat for world leaders as to why they don't really want to leave their house, you know. I'm telling you this as a fact. And the same goes for Putin. And sorry, not Putin. The same goes for Xi Jinping. What's his name? Xi Jinping, the Chinese one, the leader of the Chinese. I never remember this geezer's name. Him. You understand? The reincarnation of Chairman Mao, that guy, yeah? The reports are coming out that this guy won't leave his house for nothing. If he don't have a valid reason to leave his space of where he is, whether he's in his office or his house or where, he ain't leaving. He's on yo, I'm staying here. Unless they're telling me a bomb's going off there, I'm staying here. That's how he's rocking it, the Chinese guy, yeah? The same with Biden. For Biden to go anywhere, he needs task force security. Somebody will wig him. If Biden just walked into town, yeah, some fucker out there, hold on, is that Joe Biden? Bang! He ain't making it. Do you understand? So all of these high profile politicians, and we'll call them nasties, whether they're politicians or NGO corporations or fucking celebs or whatever, they're now having to take steps to hide themselves. They can't be out in the public. Like Trudeau, Justin Trudeau, nobody don't know where the fuck this guy is. They're saying that in the media. They're saying, where is he? They even said, is he in one of his underground bunkers? Because they have to now, like, yo, Canada's pissed. You can't just go anywhere, rude boy. Macron in France, you think he can just go to the corner shop? He can just come out his house like we can and say, you know what, I need a bread, you know. Yo, let me just rip round the corner and grab a bread. He can't fucking, yo, for him to go around the corner, he's going to have bodyguards and a whole, that shit might cost him, even though the bread costs £1, that fucking security detail, that might cost him fucking £200,000 just to go to the shop. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what time we're in with this phantom war. That's why they're trying to keep their foot on your neck. Because we've got our foot on their neck, even if you don't see it. Because they're hiding themselves. Because they know what time it is, and they know that any time, at any instant, when we just click, bang, that's all it takes for us to just click that 144,000, bang, yo, fuck this. It's over for them. That could be today, that could be tomorrow, that could be 2030, that could be 2043. We don't know, they don't know. Do you understand? And that's why they're taking the steps and the measures to dictate this world into what it's becoming now, because they ain't safe no more. They trying to make it like you ain't safe no more. And in a certain aspect, nobody ain't safe. But they're the ones that should have reason for threat more than you. Do you understand? Unless you're doing what they fucking doing, unless you're partaking in the fucking secret shit that they do, then you don't really got nothing to worry about. Your problems are small compared to these guys here. They trying to reverse that shit with their media and make you feel like you've got all the fucking problems. Yeah? Because like I tell people, although it's game over for them, that doesn't mean that you've won or we've won. There's still work that we got to fucking do. Otherwise, we lose with them. It's not just a case of, okay, you're going to remove these evil off the planet. Yo, that evil has tainted all of us. You understand? I still fucking smoke weed. We still fucking, some of us still drink. Some of us still use psychedelic drugs. Some of us still want to fuck out and use sex like it's some, you understand what I'm saying? So there's, none of us are never going to be, okay, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm just going to sit down here and wait. There ain't no fucking waiting, man. There's work to do. There's always more work to do on ourselves, to give ourselves more armor, to get a new shield, to get a new sword, to get a new fucking helmet or breastplate, yeah? So we can survive this shit here. Because we got to take responsibility that all of us are fucked up. And I'm tired of going online and people making it sound like, Oh, yo, listen to this guy. And they make it sound so perfect. Like, the fucking people that are speaking are perfect. The people that are listening to them are trying to fucking be perfect. And I'm not saying don't strive for perfection. But what I'm trying to say is don't kid yourself, man. Like, this is some fucking fairy tale and we're some super righteous people. Like, we ain't got some shit to do. Because we got fucking work to do. Some of us got more work to do on ourselves than others. But we've definitely got work to fucking do. So if we don't get it straight and start taking the necessary steps to prepare ourselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally for what's going on with this whirlwind of events, because it's going to get worse. Do you understand? A lot of us ain't going to fucking make it, man. A lot of us are fooling ourselves. A lot of us are wasting time. A lot of us are disrespecting ourselves. A lot of us are still going around certain people that we know we shouldn't be around. We're still listening to friends and stuff that we know this friend don't make no fucking sense. Do you understand? Or trying to please the husband or family or religion, or you understand? There's work to do for all of us, and this is why it seems so more serious now than any other time we've ever been involved in, because there's so much going on inside of you. I would put money on that, because I know there's so much going on inside of me that I try and spend my day now like, yo, let me sit with me, man. I just want to be my best friend right now for me. Do you understand? So I can be better for everybody else. Yeah, so I can have better interactions with people. I can be better interactions with myself also. Do you understand? That's where we need to be, man. Not just on no doom and gloom thing. Oh, this, that. To fucking running scared about vax and all this bullshit. Fuck them, man. What are you doing? What about us? Yeah? So your leaders have been warned, man, and they're acting like they're on the run from what I hear about Trudeau and that fucking... Sorry, I forgot his name again. The Chinese guy. Yeah? And fucking Biden and... It's the same here with man like Nigel Farage and them, man. Even Boris, you think Boris could just walk down the road, especially now? Someone will crack his wig down. I'm telling you, England's fucked up. People think because England don't got no guns, like, oh, it's not like America, England. Yo, let me tell you, England is dread, yeah? And there's guns here, don't get it twisted. Yeah, there's guns in London, here, Leicester, everywhere. Do you understand? There's fucking machetes, there's choppers, there's the whole shit. Do you understand? And England ain't no joke, man. When it comes to revolution and when it comes to these people can't get their alcohol and shit, it's fucked up out here, man. I'm telling you. And Boris can't walk down no road. One of them will crack him. And it may be a white guy. The last time I seen the Queen, I must have been about 4 years old. She came to that train station there. And they made us put gloves on to shake her hand. So I said, fuck that, I'm not shaking her hand. I don't even remember how old I was. But that shit there was way back. I wasn't even 10. We weren't even in Antigua. I went to Antigua at 12. So that was pre-10, before I was even 10. And I ain't never seen no high-profile bastards like them come this close into what you call hood and shit. They'll get, yo, they ain't making it, man. Yeah, they're acting like they're on the run, man. Their leaders have been warned since we told you about them two pyramids. One came in 2018 over Red Square, Russia, and one came in 2020 over the Pentagon. Yeah, and both times they were warned, because my ancestors told me, listen, we warned them and we're going to warn them again, because they didn't pay heed. They think you got to understand, these people are recalcitrant. They keep trying it. They keep testing the patience of the higher beings. So yeah, bear in mind what I said, it's game over, but don't let it be game over for you, because you refuse to take your position up in this fucking war and you just got hit up on the battlefield and left as a casualty of war. There's going to be many casualties of war, man. But these government people and these corporation people, they're in hiding, man. They only come out when they have to. The Epsteins, the Maxwells, the Mark Zuckerberg, and the Pandora Papers, especially them kind of people, because them four things that I just called there, yeah? Epstein, that Ghislaine Maxwell, they can be seen as one thing, along with the Weinstein. That whole shit there, yeah? Facebook, with its shutdown and its monopoly over all this social media shit, yeah? Centered around Mark Zuckerberg, and the Pandora Papers that came out to expose this whole tax evasion shit and how they get their money by raping us with all of their drugs, because they sell all the drugs and they put all the drugs out there. They run the fucking drugs from the White House. Yeah, that's why it's called the fucking White House. Okay, and the Pandora Papers show that the drugs, and when I say drugs, I'm also talking about pharmaceutical drugs, is their money that they fund their black budget projects with, and your tax. The money that they take off you, talking about tax, governments taxing their own fucking people instead of making their own money. You understand? And putting their people in debt. Them gates, they're all gates that lead to a whole fucking hornet's nest. Epstein, Maxwell and Weinstein, FB, and why it had to shut down, yeah, and what it actually does behind the scenes that it's not telling us, yeah, along with them other ones like this bastard YouTube and the other ones, yeah, and then that Pandora Papers shit that came out talking about the offshore tax evasion of all your 1%. Let's call them the Davos crew or the Davos posse, because it's a gang, yeah, the Davos posse. All of them man there. So if you see, they ain't told us nothing else about none of that shit. Since that shit broke out in the news, because it had people like Tony Blair and his wife on there. Do you know how rich they are right now? After going to Iraq and killing up all them people with the illegal war. And then after having an illegal war in the Middle East, they say, okay, Tony Blair, now you're finished being British Prime Minister. We've got a job for you. We want you to be the Middle Eastern envoy. And from that Middle Eastern envoy job, he gets more money than he gets when he was in the fucking prime minister seat. So now they're like multi-millionaires and they don't pay no fucking tax. All we pay tax. We fucking pay tax out your ass, out your nose, out your ears. I don't. You know, I don't even, I do. Let me just say I do, because I'm online, yeah? Fucking hell, I'm saying too much. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They use all of this stuff here to fund all of the shit they don't tell you about. When you wonder where the fuck did they get the money to do all of this shit, but they ain't got no money to feed hungry people or whatever. But whatever they want to do, they've got money for it. That's where their money comes from taxing you and not paying tax themselves, so they can have it on offshore banks and shit, and then making stuff that you call drugs, and they sell it to you. They sell it to you on the streets illegally, and they'll sell it to you inside the hospitals legally, and they make a whole shitload of money from it. And if you try and stop them, you end up like Dr. Sebi and Nipsey Hussle, because you're dealing with fucking mafias. Do you understand? So now we're at the stage in this phantom war where, remember I predicted this too. If you have my book Coronation, Agenda 21, The Scamdemic, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I said in there, yeah, and I don't like to try and be a prophet man, but I said it, it's the truth. Yeah, I said all of this shit's gonna fail. Yeah, and people are gonna see that as a victory. They're going to think, yeah, all this shit's failed, the mandates and everything's failed, yeah, it's the end and the people. Nah. Once it fails, then the real beast is going to come out. Because they're going to get, let's put it this way in Jamaican terms, they're going to get wicked. They're going to say like, fuck that. Yeah? The people ain't having it. They're not listening to us. We only got half of them. And fuck it, now we're going to get wicked and roll up our sleeves. And yo, they're going to come swinging through us. They're going to come swinging. Because they can't get what they want. They try to do it politely and lie through their teeth and kind of nudge you and coerce you. Now they're going to push you off that fucking cliff. Because when they tried to nudge you and tried to be polite, you weren't having it. So now it's like, yo, fuck that. Get off the fucking cliff, rude boy. They're going to shove you off that shit there. That's where we're about to go with it now. But first you're going to see all this shit fail like it's already started happening. Biden and his vaccine mandate, and it was denied, and the judge and them denied it. And fucking here in England, they were saying, yo, if you're an NHS staff and you work in the hospital, you have to take this thing, and you have to take it by the 2nd of February. I got a cousin who's a care worker. They were telling him, yo, you have to take it, we're going to sack you. They said to him last year, they're going to sack him Christmas. When Christmas came, he's the best carer there. He does the most work. They said, you know what, we're going to give you till January. When January came, they said, you know what, we're going to give you till February. I gave him the shit from my book, Coronation, the conditional acceptance, because he already had the book anyway. I told him, yo, page 256, bro, write that shit out and take it to them and give them at work. Yeah, and it settled them for a bit. But now in England, they've reversed. They can't get it passed through. Too much nurses were like, yo, we're not taking that shit, man. We don't want to take it. So it came to the point now where they're like, okay, we reverse, we back down on it. They're not going to take it. 80,000 nurses was about to quit over this shit. I don't know what y'all heard about England, but we struggling for nurses out here. Nurses is a big deal in England when it comes to hospital and free healthcare and the NHS. Nurses is a big fucking deal. And let me tell you something else that you probably wouldn't know about England if you don't live here. Most of those nurses and doctors and physicians and shit is black people and Asian people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Black people and Asian people. But anyway, 80,000 of them were like, yo, we're not having it. And they had to reverse on that shit. And I'm saying that to say, as I said earlier, you're going to see all of their shits fail first. It's not all going to go their way. And that's the reason why they're going to turn nasty. And that's why I say in the same way Game of Thrones told you winter is coming. The fucking beast is coming, man. I know a lot of y'all like to say, oh, black people, we are the beast because we're 666 is Menelin. That's bullshit, yeah? 666 is carbon, and carbon is just one ingredient in Menelin. And even white people have carbon. Carbon's in everything. Do you understand? So that mentality is just daft, yeah? The real beast that you was warned about is about to fucking dictate our experience here for those of us who choose to partake in that experience. A lot of us who don't choose to partake in that experience will still have to fight this beast because we won't have enough power to just be totally away from the shit. Like I said, we're all in some shape, form, or whatever is connected to this fucking matrix. Whether it's smoking, whether it's white sugar, whether it's sex, women, whether it's alcohol, whether it's materialism, whether it's money, chasing money, you understand? Whether it's obsession with some false ass religion, yo, we've all got work to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? The beast is coming, the real beast, man. And you must detach from this fucking materialistic world, yeah? And focus on the war that's going on inside of yourself. Focus on the war that's going on inside of you right now when you're listening to these words. That's what I'm talking about. The inner kingdom, yeah? Your own heaven or hell. Do you understand? Some of us right now will be in a state of heaven. But most of us right now, I'll say, will be closer to a state of hell with what's going on around us and in our lives and stuff. Yeah? In terms of addictions, character flaws, bad habits, we've all got shit to improve on. Yeah? We've all got shadow work that we know we need to get done. We've all got to spend more time with ourselves and getting wrapped up in our work schedules and chasing our dreams or whatever else. Don't forget, man, to give time to yourself and get down to them things there. Address your addictions, man. Address your character flaws if you have them. Address your bad habits. I said if you have them for character flaws. I was supposed to have said that for addictions, yeah. All of us have got certain flaws in our character that we must work on, yeah. There's improvements that we must make if we want to get on this boat, this solar boat, this sacred solar bark, yeah. Cutting cords, yeah. Cutting cords, like visualizing yourself right now with a knife or a sword or a scissors and just seeing cords attached to you from your head, from your heart, from your back, yeah, all cords. And what I do a lot of the time is picture myself like that with cords attached to me, all types of cords, yeah, like when you're in hospital and they got all them pipes coming out of you. And you take a scissors and you just cut off all them fucking cords with your conscious intention, and you take back your power from anyone who may have attached a cord to you, yeah, and don't have your best interests at heart. They're on some selfish thing or on some ego thing or on some resentment thing. Chop them motherfuckers out. Cut them with your own Merkaba energy. Cut them cords. Do it how much time do you have to do it? Because I kid you not, every time you go out your front door, out into that chaotic world, yeah, some fucking thing is going to attach to you, yeah? I'm talking about just from our human level. The shit we go through as human beings, just having to be human and keep up this fucking rat race. Do you know how much cords that we attach to ourselves and people, other people who don't have good intentions for us, people who are jealous of you or people who got envious things about you. Yo, chop all of that shit out, yeah? And then at the same time, know that when we speak about spiritual wickedness in the higher realm, yeah, you're talking about parasitic entities that have to have a host. So a lot of humans are walking around right now and there's certain entities attached to them. There's certain gal out there that you might think, oh, look, she's piff. Big batty, big tits. She might have an entity attached to her. You go and lay down with her. That fucking entity is now attached to you and her. Can fuck with you too. Do you understand what I'm saying? Semen demons, sexual demons. This is real, man. It might sound like I'm just jibber jabbing, but I have to bring you this real shit. I'm gonna keep doing it. Hold on, where was I? Yeah, so heaven or hell is a state, just as much as it's a, when we say Orion and Ilion and we talk about the kingdom of Anu and stuff. Remember also, if we go back to the theory of everything video and we go back to the live video speaking about worlds within worlds, and we was talking about microcosms and macrocosms and how you are the universe within the universe. You understand? And how any piece of a hologram, if you take a piece out of it, that little piece contains the whole hologram. That's like your DNA. If I take a piece of your DNA, that little strand of DNA contains all of your fucking information for the entire you, just on that one fucking strand. So in the same way, when we speak about heaven or hell is also an inner thing. That's a mind state, a state. If you're in a state of peace, you're in a heavenly state. If you're in a state of chaos and anger and frustration, you're in a state of hell. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is why it's so important for us to fuck with that macro and go into the inner kingdom and fix yourself and detach from this materialism that they're pushing out here, where every day you need something. They telling you need something. You need this new car, you need this new house, you need this new dress, you need this holiday, you need to, they want you to keep running from yourself. So they're giving you everything. They're telling you you need everything but you. They're not putting an advert on TV saying, you're going to need you today, you know, Djedefre. Please spend 2 minutes, go in the mirror and tell yourself you're a lovely human being. You're a piece of artwork. I'm being real. We're supposed to have these shits on telly. Let's say human beings, can you just stop? Imagine if we seen an advert like that. Like, can you just stop, go look in the mirror and tell yourself I love you. You're bigger than your challenges. Rare. That's how I envision the 5D world. You understand when I'm telling you guys to envision that shit? I see that shit in 5D. Yeah? One day I'm walking down the road and a bollard might just come on. Can you just stop 1 minute? And just, you know what I'm saying? Give gratitude for yourself. And just give me some nice compliments to Rare Sclero. I'm like, yo, that was nice. And you just continue. Yo, I visualize these shits, man. Right, where was I? I'm getting to the end, guys. Don't worry. I'm sure my battery will flash soon anyway. Yeah, so parasitic hosts, the reptilian and the insectoids and the greys and certain other beings, they like to fucking attach themselves to lower vibrational beings and vamp you and suck out your energy. That's food for them. That's like drugs for them. When you smoking and you having a high and they get high off that shit there. Do you understand? So cutting cords is so important for me. I do that shit, man. And I'm sure it was shout out to my baby sister, Honeybee Eshe. She was like, listen, you gotta cut cords, man. Because people, I remember that shit. She told me that years ago. I ain't never forgot that shit. Because these are parasitic entities. And they have to have a host to operate in this realm. They have to have a host. And they feed off certain things like animalistic sex, lust, greed, materialism, anger, fear and panic. You know what I mean? Adrenaline rush, daring, like jumping off cliffs and shit, daredevils. That's food for them. That's like drugs for them. You know, you understand? That's potent for them. They feed off that shit. So it's important to cut them cords when you remember and you start putting shit back together. So, yo, I've been feeling a bit rough. Let me cut some cords, man. You go on your social media, you post a picture. There's people that are staring at your picture with bad intentions. I'm not lying. They might not have the best intentions for you. They hate you. Just because you don't hate yourself. Just because you don't give up on yourself. Just because you stand on your truth. So they might smile at you or might say something nice on your comments or something. But some of them people don't have no good intentions for you. So sometimes even that can attach a cord to you. That person's got a cord. They watching your shit and they've got a fucking cord attached to you. They don't never like none of your shit. But they on your shit. You know them. You grew up with them. They don't never support your shit or post your business or post your successes or celebrate your successes or nothing. What do you think them people are doing online? They watching you, man. And they attaching cords to you and shit. Why it's so, that's to me, that's a part of shadow work too. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And these entities, man, some of them, the sexual ones, what I call semen demons and sexual entities, what you will hear people call incubus, succubus. And that doctor, Emmanuel, what's her name? Dr. something Emmanuel, that's in my book. She said it, that black doctor, when Trump got his fucking corona. And she was out there healing bastards from the corona, and they villainized her and said she's some witch doctor from Africa and that. Because she were healing people with the hydroxychloroquine. Have I said it right? Hydroxychloroquine. Yeah, I need to read Coronation. I ain't read it for a while. So yeah, let's wrap this up, guys, because I'll just go on and on. Make sure that you cover your basics and your fundamentals. It's very important in this phantom war to, when you will hear people having discussions and hear certain topics come up that you're not researched in. And even though you might want to join the conversation and it's popping and it's so good, you have to not join that conversation because you ain't got the basics. You need to go to the basics of what they're talking about so you can have an inner and understanding. First, the understanding of what they're talking about. Go and research that shit for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Before you jump into these advanced classes and shit. That's why more time, if I'm speaking really advanced, I'll put it on the thing, on the heading. I'll say, listen, this is an advanced class. So I want to advise somebody who's never came into the subject to sit in one of my advanced classes, because they're just going to be lost in translation. Like, the fuck are they talking about? And we ain't going to have the time to come and break down certain basic fundamental things for you, because most of us in that discussion will already have these basic and fundamentals to be able to have this discussion. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of us are looking for shortcuts where we don't want to spend time learning the basic and the fundamentals about Christianity, the different denominations of Christianity, or Islam, or Hebrews, or Egypt, or the difference between Kush and Kemet, or the American side when it comes to Mayans and Aztecs, or quantum. Like, certain things you can't just expect to understand the fullness of the human experience without giving time to learn the basic and the fundamentals, man. It's like, if I go to the gym, I'll use the gym again, I like using gym. If I go to the gym, I can't pick up the biggest weight in the fucking gym. And it's my first day in gym. I gotta start where the fucking, gotta get in where I fit in. I gotta start down here, man, with the biscuits, what we call biscuits, them little weights that look like fucking, you just start with the biscuits, you know what I'm saying? And build yourself up. Yeah, you gotta go back to the basic and the fundamentals, man, before you can get that work, before you can really grasp an overstanding. Overstanding is like the icing, is like a reward. First, you got to go into the knowledge that will give you that wisdom. The knowledge is like the hard work, because you got to go and explore and discover and research and put time in and hours and notes, and you understand? But it's a must. You can't cut it out. There's no cosmetic surgery or shortcut way for you to just be one of these advanced gurus. And social media has made us all want to compete against each other for who can say the best shit, who can be the best teacher, who can have the biggest following, and so it makes us take shortcuts because we don't want to do the research. We just want to get likes. We just want to make our platform massive. I'm not one of them guys, man. Do you understand? But a lot of people will be on that way, on that kind of fucking thing there. You understand? Go to learn the basics and the fundamentals, and don't be embarrassed about it. If you don't know about Christianity or Islam, there's nothing wrong with that. Or science or chemistry, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Go and learn that shit, man. Go and learn about atoms and molecules and quarks and shit if you don't know what the fuck that is and how that fits into the discussion. Do you understand? Because what's going on with your media is like, the less you know about the theory of everything, is the more they can give you this false media and these false narratives, because you don't know. We don't know no better. So therefore they can tell us anything and give us this limited edited dictation, what they call in public education. Do you understand? Because they don't want us to know the truth about nothing. Yeah. Let me speed up. My battery's dying. Yeah. FB Metaverse is apparently failing. It's lost 2 billion overnight because it's crap. It looks crap, it feels crap, and it's fucking shit, and it's falling apart. But remember what I said about all of their shit would fail, and then the beast would come. And remember that I hope it's true, yeah, and I hope that the meta thing just falls through anyway, but I can't see it, yeah. And bearing in mind that Facebook is not the only company that's invested in this technology. Musk, Microsoft, the whole fucking bunch of them have invested in their own version. Google, everyone, their own fucking metaverse. So Mark Zuckerberg failing in his one don't really mean anything, but that's making headlines now anyway, just to let you guys know. Learn the basics and fundamentals, yeah? Go back to all that shit they taught us in school. Go, if you remember certain science classes, history classes, or whatever from school, just take that for and go and research it now that you're bigger. And remember everything that they said to you in school, whether you was learning about the Queen of England or science, yeah, physics, chemistry, agriculture. Go back to it all and learn it again. Now that you have an adult mind, do you understand? Unlearn and relearn. Because this battle for hearts and minds is about screen time and how much time you give to this here fucking screen on your phone or your tablet or your TV. It's about screen time. The more you know, the less screen time you need. You don't need fucking to be told in the news about events or nothing. You can read events just in your life, yeah? News is going on constantly. You just have to know how to read it. And the more you know, the more you'll read the news from the now. You won't need no mainstream news channels and shit. The more you know, the less time you're going to spend indulging in these fucking, whether it's the news, certain stories, even the YouTube, social media, all of that false reality shit, yeah? And dopamine friends don't mean nothing. And that's not to disrespect nobody that I connected with online. Yeah, I see that as soul fam, but I'm just talking about people online that think that they've got, oh, I've got 40,000 friends. They're not friends. They're dopamine friends, man. They just there for a dopamine spike in your brain. Yeah, and it's like they're encouraging us in this modern digital society to watch each other and compete with each other. Oh, look what he's got. Oh, look what they posted today. Oh, look what, you understand? It's like we're all watching each other and not watching ourselves. We're watching each other's relationships, we're watching each other's clothes, we're watching each other's moves and catching red eye off each other. And they've encouraged it for the last 15 years. So that's how we're operating right now and getting these dopamine spikes because we got more likes than this guy or that girl. Yeah? It's crazy. And I just want to say as well, because I'm out here relaying information, I'm not here to be nobody's buddy, innit? Like buddy. I'm not here to be no one's buddy, man. I'm not here to be your friend in that type of fucking way. Yeah? I'm here to be my friend. And what I'm doing is showing myself that I'm not here to teach, I'm here to love you. I love all of you who tune into my lives. That's why I end by saying I love you all. Yeah? And the love will teach you. I'm here to love you guys and love myself. When I love me and I love you guys, that shit will teach us everything we need to know. When you do the same, that will teach us everything we need to know. Do you understand? We're not here to teach each other or to be the best speaker or to be the best teacher and to be on an ego thing. We're here to love each other. I do this job and come on YouTube and put myself on the front line because I love every human being who wants to be a beautiful human being. If you're down for being a peaceful, beautiful human being, then I definitely love you. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you've been conned by. I don't care about none of that shit there. As long as you want a better world and want better for our children and the next generation, I'm sure me and you can work together, man. We can even have a laugh while we're working together. You understand? So don't think just because I'm against religion means me and you will have a problem. We ain't even got to mention religion. All we got to do is just stick on how can we make this shit better? You understand? We can talk about all that other shit after. Yeah? Love will teach you, man. So just love people, man, and love yourself. And that will teach you and it will teach people. And as I forgot what her name is in the Telegram group, said earlier, it's lonely out here. You understand what I'm saying? She'll know who I'm talking about. The path of a warrior is a lonely road, man. Yeah, but we're never alone. Yeah, and then we Kabaha are never wahud, one, alone. We are never alone. You understand? The path of a warrior is a lonely road, and a lot of time us people who are the warriors who have to come and give this light, like people ask me, how do you know all of this stuff and how can you speak like the way you speak and that? And you know, sometimes I've not known how to answer people. In fact, most times I don't even know how to answer that question. If I'm being totally honest with you, I don't fucking know. I'll probably, if you ask me 10 different times on 10 different occasions, I'll probably give you 5 different answers. Do you understand? Like, it's that real. But what I can say, yeah, is that people like myself, and I'll speak for myself, for me to bring you this person, Djedefre Memnon, involve a whole lot of pain, a whole lot of trauma, because I don't think there's nothing that can teach human beings compassion and awareness and care more than pain and your own fucking trials and tribulations, losses, shortcomings. Yeah, I'm somebody who's had a life of pain, and I'm not gonna over exaggerate it. Like, oh shit, I've had some, oh, because there's people who's had way worse lives than me. But I'm saying, in my own terms, compared to the average life of people in the UK, like, and especially as a black man, yo, I've gone through some serious shit that a lot of people, they wouldn't have made it through, and a lot of people wouldn't have come back from where I had to go mentally to deal with certain pain and to deal with certain loss and to deal with certain trauma. A lot of people don't come back from there. So I'll say Ashayo to the ancestors that I was able to go there and come back and sit here and have this kind of banter with you guys. You get me? And I'll take that from it, because like I said, you choose where you want to put your focus. You can focus on the negative or you can focus on the positive and keep it moving. Do you see what I'm saying? And I definitely believe like I'm in the late bloom of my life. I definitely feel like only since like the back end of last year, certain things started coming together in terms of coming out of these whirlwinds that have happened throughout my fucking life. Yeah, and never forget your purpose. Always think purpose. What is my purpose here? Because that's your own personal legend. And the only people who don't have a purpose are NPCs, meaning bots, agent smiths, NPCs, non-player characters, soulless beings. They don't have a purpose for being here. Yeah, you'll find that the NPCs and the people who don't have a purpose are mainly that they're soulless, and they're the ones that come from the other side of the camp, from the fallen angel thing. Yeah, they don't come from our camp, they come from a totally different camp. So you'll find that the people that don't know their purpose will try and distract you from yours, because somebody who knows their purpose will never try and distract you from finding your own purpose. They'll never try to hinder you, or they'll never try to cast doubt in what you're doing or what your dreams are or what you feel your purpose is. Only the NPCs, the bots, the agents will spend their fucking life to convince you that you're wasting your time chasing that ambition there, rude boy. Let's go and hit the club and go and draw some gal or whatever else. They're the fucking, you have to look out for that. Always stay true to your purpose. And that's not to say everybody's going to know what their purpose is. Some of us still don't know what our purpose is, but you know that you have a purpose. So don't give up your quest of discovering what your real passionate purpose is in this incarnation. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because those people who don't have a purpose, they're just there to slow you down, man. And again, they can come from family, friends, spouses, strangers, work colleagues, whoever, man, siblings. You get me? Keep the good fight. The good fight is based on you making yourself better than you was yesterday. You making yourself into the best version of you. That's the way that we win this phantom war here. It's not a war that's totally pivoted around warplanes and bombs and nuclear. They want you to think that. So they want you to stick with the timeline of Revelation, where they've interpreted it to just mean, okay, warplanes, bombs, tanks, nuclear. But really, this war is everything else, is the good fight. The decisions you take inside of yourself. to make yourself a better person, to make yourself a more helpful, more compassionate, more informative human being. So then we can contribute to uplifting the quality, the experience that beings have when they come to this place. This is supposed to be a vacation for us. This is supposed to be like when we go on holiday and say, yo, I want to go Egypt, Sharm el Sheikh for 2 weeks. It's supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be coming to this earth of soul saying, yo, I'm going earth for a bit to have a nice experience, and you understand. But it's turned into a fucking hell. It's turned into a nightmare. And in order for us to win this war and not go down with all the low vibrational negativity that's going to be remain trapped here in this 3D, you have to vibrate higher. And to vibrate higher in this phantom war is like what I'm trying to give you these jewels, man, so you can escape this matrix. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we've come to the end of the discussion, man. And like I said, I hope you all can draw from this, yeah, and reach the highest parts of yourself. If not it's not gonna happen overnight, but I hope that it sparks that urge in you to take them steps and go in that direction and go and craft out your astral self, your best self, your beautiful self that is a piece of artwork, yeah. And I want you to know that the war is against truth. That's what the war is against. The war is against truth. Truth in the world today is now the enemy. That's why they've made it obscure for most people, because this world is a lie and the truth exposes it, and they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to come out in the light of the sun. Yeah, this duality is artificial and it's controlled. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say to you guys. We love you all. And with that being said, it's the end of the transmission. Anything you guys want to put on the thread, please put on the thread. But I'm not going to dwell because I think this battery might have dipped underneath 10%. Yeah. So Namastu. Stay beautiful, guys. Stay beautiful.